Is it only the still mind that understands that in a quiet mind there is a movement that is totally different, that is of a different dimension, of a different quality that can never be put into words, because it is indescribable? What can be described is what comes up to this point, the point when you have laid the foundation and seen the necessity, the truth, and the beauty of a still mind. For most of us, beauty is in something, in a building, in a cloud, in the shape of a tree, in a beautiful face. Is beauty out there, or is it a quality of mind that has no self-centered activity? Because like joy, the understanding of beauty is essential in meditation. Beauty is really the total abandonment of the me. And the eyes that have abandoned the me can see the trees, the beauty of it all, and the loveliness of the cloud. That happens when there is no center as the me. It happens to each one of us, doesn't it? When you see a lovely mountain, when you come upon it suddenly, there it is. Everything has been pushed aside except the majesty of that hill, that mountain, that tree, absorbs you completely. It is like a child with a toy. The toy absorbs the child, and when the toy is destroyed, the child is back again in whatever he is doing, in his mischief and his crying. Likewise with us. When you see the mountain or the single tree on a hilltop, it absorbs you. And we want to be absorbed by something, by an idea, by an activity, by a commitment, by a belief, or we want to be absorbed by another, which is like the child with the toy. So beauty means sensitivity, a body that is sensitive, which means the right diet, the right way of living, and you have all this. If you have gone that far, I hope you will, or you are doing it now, then the mind will inevitably and naturally, unknowingly, become quiet. You can't make the mind quiet, because you are the mischief maker. You are yourself disturbed, anxious, confused. How can you make the mind quiet? But when you understand what quietness is, when you understand what confusion is, what sorrow is, and whether sorrow can ever end, and when you understand pleasure, then out of that comes an extraordinarily quiet mind. You don't have to seek it. You must begin at the beginning, and the first step is the last step, and this is meditation. Questioner. When you make the analogy of the mountain, the hills, the beautiful sky, that's wrong for these people. That's not the analogy for them. The analogy is the dirt. Krishnamurti. Right. Take that. The analogy of the dirty streets of New York. The analogy of squalor, poverty, the ghettos, the wars to which each of us has contributed. You don't feel that way because you've separated yourself, isolated yourself. Therefore, having no relationship with another, you become corrupt and allow corruption to spread in the world. That's why this corruption, this pollution, these wars, this hatred cannot be stopped by a political or religious system or by any organization. You have to change. Don't you see this? You have to cease completely to be what you are, not through will. Meditation is the emptying of the mind, of will, and that's a totally different action takes place. Questioner. If you could have the privilege of becoming totally aware, how can we then help those who are conditioned, who have a deep resentment in them? Why, if I may ask, do you use the word privilege? What is there sacred or privilege about being aware? That's a natural thing, isn't it? To be aware. If you're aware of your own conditioning, of the turmoil, the dirt, the squalor, the war, the hatred, if you are aware of all that, you will establish a relationship with another so complete that you are related to every other human being in the world. You understand this? If I'm related to somebody completely, totally, not as an idea or an image, then I am related to every human being in the world. Then I will see I will not hurt another. They are hurting themselves. then go preach, talk about it, not with the desire to help another. You understand? That's the most terrible thing to say. I want to help another. Who are you to help another, including the speaker? Sir, look, the beauty of the tree or the flower doesn't want to help you. It is there. It is for you to look at the squalor or at the beauty. And if you are incapable of looking at it, then find out why you have become so indifferent, so callous, so shallow and empty. If you find out that, then you are in the state where the waters of life flow. You don't have to do anything. What is the relationship between seeing things exactly as they are and consciousness? You only know consciousness by its content, by its content. And its content is what is happening in the world, of which you are a part. To empty all that is not to have no consciousness, but a totally different dimension. You cannot speculate about that dimension. Leave that to the scientists, to the philosophers. What we can do is to find out whether it is possible to uncondition the mind by becoming aware, by becoming totally attentive. I don't know myself what love is or what truth is or what God is, but you describe it as love is God instead of love is love. Can you explain why you say love is God? I didn't say love is God. I read one of your books. I'm sorry, don't read books. That word has been used so much, is so loaded by man's despairs and hopes. You have your God. The communists have their gods. So find out, if I may suggest, what love is. You can only find out what love is by knowing what it is not. Not knowing intellectually, but actually in life putting aside what is not. Jealousy, ambition, and greed, and all the division that goes on in life. The me and the you, we and they, the black and the white. Unfortunately, you won't do it because it needs energy. And energy comes only when you observe actually what is and don't run away from it. When you see actually what is, then in the observing of it, you have the energy to go beyond it. You cannot go beyond it if you're just trying to escape from it, to translate it or to overcome it. Just observe actually what is. Then you have abundance of energy. Then you can find out what love is. Love is not pleasure. And to really find that out inwardly for yourself, do you know what that means? It means that there is no fear, that there is no attachment, no dependency, but a relationship in which there is no division. Could you talk about the role of the artist in society? Does he serve a function beyond his own? Who is an artist? Someone who paints a picture, writes a poem, who wants to express himself through painting or through writing a book or a play. Why do we divide the artist from the rest of us, or the intellectual from the rest of us? We have placed the intellectual at one level, the artist perhaps at a higher level, and the scientist at a still higher level. And then we say, what is their role in society? The question is not what is their role, but what is your role in society? Because you have created this mess. What is your role? Find out, sir. That is, find out why you live within this world of squalor, hatred, and misery. Apparently it does not touch you. Look, you have listened to these talks, shared some of the things together, understood, let's hope, a great deal. Then you become a center of right relationship, and therefore it is your responsibility to change this terrible, corrupt, destructive society. Sir, could you go into psychological time? Time is old age. Time is sorrow. Time doesn't heed. There is chronological time by the watch that must exist, otherwise you won't be able to catch your bus, cook a meal, and all the rest of it. But there's another kind of time which we have accepted. That is, tomorrow I will be, tomorrow I will change, tomorrow I will become. Psychologically, we have created time, tomorrow. Is there a tomorrow psychologically? That question fills us with dread to ask seriously, because we want tomorrow. I shall have the pleasure of meeting you tomorrow. I'm going to understand tomorrow. My life will be different tomorrow. I will realize enlightenment tomorrow. Therefore, tomorrow becomes the most important thing in our life. You have had sex yesterday. all the pleasures, all the agonies, whatever it is, and you want it tomorrow because you want the same pleasure repeated. Put that question to yourself and find out the truth of it. Is there tomorrow at all, except in thought, which projects tomorrow? So tomorrow is the invention of thought as time. And if there is no tomorrow psychologically, what happens in life today? Then there is a tremendous revolution, isn't there? Then your whole action undergoes a radical change, doesn't it? Then you are completely whole now, not projecting from the past through the present into the future. That means to live, dying every day. Do it and you will find out what it means to live completely today. Isn't that what love is? You don't say, I will love tomorrow, do you? You love or you don't love. Love has no time. Only sorrow has time. Sorrow being thought as in pleasure. So one has to find out for oneself what time is and find out if there is a no tomorrow. That is to live. Then there is a life which is eternal, because eternity has no time. New York City, April 25th, 1971. America, Part 3. Two Conversations. J. Krishnamurti and Alan Nod. Topics: The Circus of Man's Struggle, on Good and Evil. The Circus of Man's Struggle. Conversation between J. Krishnamurti and Alan Nod. Nod. You speak about the whole of life. When we talk about us, there is so much disorder everywhere. It seems that people are so confused. In the world we see that there is war, ecological disorder, political and social disorder, crime, and all the evils of industrialization and overpopulation. And it seems that the more people try to solve these problems, the more they augment. Then there is man himself, who is full of problems. He is not only the problems of the world about him, but is full of problems inwardly. Loneliness, despair, jealousy, anger. All this we may call confusion. And presently he dies. Now we have always been told that there is something else which has variously been called God, eternity, creation. And about this man knows nothing. He has tried to live for this, in relation to this, but it has again made problems. It seems from what you have said so many times that one must find a way of dealing with these three sets of problems, these three aspects of life at the same time, because these are the problems confronting man. Is there a way to ask the question properly so that we'll answer these three sets of problems at the same time? Krishnamurti. First of all, sir, why do we make this division? Or is there only one movement which must be taken on the wave itself? So first, let's find out why we have divided this whole existence into the world outside of me, the world inside of me, and something beyond me. Does this division exist because of the chaos outwardly, and we are only concerned with the outer chaos and totally neglect the inner chaos, not finding a solution for the outer or for the inner? We then try to find a solution in a belief in the divine.